Hey, everybody, welcome back to the pre-show banter for the Long Haul podcast. And
Uh,
not just remember what I was going to tell you in our last recording, Blaine.
uh-huh.
So remember how we were talking about is like I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be surprised about X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
I don't know if I messaged this to you because I remember I messaged you a couple of stuff back to back, like the drone delivery in our town now. It's a legit thing.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? It's also apparently a real thing.
What?
Apparently like there's this app where like you can sign up and like they'll send you a basket and all that. You put your dirty clothes in the baskets, you sit them outside your house, somebody will come pick them up, wash them for you, and deliver them back to you.
Okay.
I'm like, I shouldn't be surprised by that, but
Honestly,
I
yeah.
am surprised by that.
That's cool. I'm not surprised. They had something like that at the other apartment complex
Yeah.
that Victoria was at. At the other apartment complex, they had like a Tide station. You'd put your clothes in a locker. They would come and get all the clothes out of the locker and the other ones. They'd wash them and come back and put them back in the locker. So, and then like whenever you got home or whatever, you'd come home and get your clothes out of the locker.
Huh, that's surprising. I never heard about that. But like I
Yeah.
remember like I was watching Hulu. I think I was watching Hell's Kitchen because that's right on my current binge.
Yeah.
Oh, not binge. I watch a couple of episodes every day, and a commercial for that came up. I was like, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time. But anyway, you want
I
to get
wanna
on to?
I wanna come over there and get food delivered by a drone.
Yeah, so I actually looked it up. So like, actually, I looked at one of the flyers and all that at work because like they're literally right next door to us.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they go pick up you place the order, they go pick it up from the restaurant, and then they load it into a drone, and you have to select an area for the drone to drop it off at.
Okay.
And you have to make sure the area is cleared, and then they'll fly the drone, land it there, and then you drop off the food, and it goes back to where they're at.
Huh. That's cool, man. So you order through their
Through the
proprietary site or whatever?
through the app.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is more expensive than DoorDash?
I have no clue. I actually have to look it up. But I do know there was a promo code on the thing I saw.
I just want
That
to
was
do it
like,
because of novelty.
yeah, exactly.
That's so freaking cool.
Yeah, like and that's the first time I ever noticed anything like a drone thing. The only other thing I can remember was Amazon was supposed to be like
You have packages everywhere.
yeah.
Oh God.
But then again,
Um,
you also have to that there's some problems with that because you have to fight paths, air restrictions, and all that, and locations and all that.
that's a crazy big infrastructure they're gonna have to make.
Because
But one
like,
thing I just thought of is like, okay, maybe it's more expensive than DoorDash. Not that cool. But yeah, but what about when there's big traffic, like traffic, big time, or like an accident on a road? That freaking drone can just fly over all the traffic and bring food to you.
yeah, but
Now,
like
what
me,
would be really nice is that if they could have certain restaurants they get to an agreement with, like as an authorized person to like I don't know they trust to put food on it or something, they could fly the drone to that restaurant that's agreed to have like someone that will know how to use it during certain times, I guess, and not mess it up.
yeah,
Load the food and then give them a thumbs up and then they fly it to the place. Then they could be doing it real fast.
yeah, true. I think that may also cost a markup for the consumer, though. Maybe I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sure. There's no way this is cheaper than like a DoorDash thing.
But like see, like someone like me that lives near a school, I wonder if I'll be able to do it since like you can fly drones sometimes within a certain vicinity of a school zone.
Uh,
Unless
I
you
mean,
get
I get that, but if you're
unless you
still within the residential area, you know what I mean?
unless you get an authorization to override that. But then again, I'm also next to within the range of the airport in town, so that's another thing.
Jesus.
Because I know some of this stuff because of my old job, because like we flew drones and all that. And sometimes we weren't able to let our drones off because there was like school nearby, or it was in a no fly zone, or airport was too close to it.
So you went to do it, and the drone software said you can't fly here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because
Hmm.
like there's certain instructions and like zoning and all that stuff.
That's cool though.
But anyway, let's get into today's episode, and that is the hustle culture toxic? Now we have
Hmm.
talked a lot about the hustle culture in the past, but I have never thought of this question: is it toxic?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
got some articles that we can read over and talked about. But honestly, I want to say my personal opinion: it can be. It can be toxic.
Yeah.
Depending on how you do it and all that, it can be toxic.
I just think it's positioned in the wrong way. Like the way it's positioned is like you should be doing this. If you're not, like, what are you doing? You're wasting your life. And so it's positioned to where, and then people put these tags and they have this over their profile and stuff, like, oh, I'm CEO. And it's just a tag. It doesn't, like, okay, what do you want it on a mug or something?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean anything, but because they do this so they can have the tag and so they can think they're a big deal. And um and that's part of the problem. And so, and then add the fact that you're viewed upon by, let's say, the people who are firm doers of the hustle culture, that if you're not hustling every hour of the day, you're a degenerate or whatever, you're not trying hard
Yeah.
enough. Like, it's like one of the articles mentioned that we're gonna chat about. Essentially, it's like forcing it upon people to some sense. And not everyone falls in line with that viewpoint.
Yeah. And then I will give it if if you bash somebody for whenever they'll get off work and if they just want to go home, spend time with their wife and kids and cook a meal or whatever, or they just want to go get a few beers with some friends and all that, and they don't want to okay, I'm done with my regular 9 to 5. Now let me get in my car, let me Doordash for 5 hours and get that extra
Mm.
money. If
Uh,
you're somebody that bashes somebody for instead of wanting to do that and wants to go have a beer with some friends, wants to go spend time with your family, wants to just sit back, relax, and watch Netflix. There was nothing wrong with doing any of that stuff.
yeah, you have to take breaks between this stuff. Like, honestly, like, if I was just by myself, I didn't have, like, live with anybody else, like, my girlfriend, for if I was just me, my own thing, or maybe I still live with my parents, I would like go DoorDash on my motorcycle. And because it's kind of the cool part is I can make money with it, and I just love riding it. So I would DoorDash on it. I would, if for some reason I got fired, I'd be DoorDashing on a thing tomorrow.
Yeah, and I gotta say, one of the things I will say this to counter argument, that side, doing stuff like that can be toxic. Side hustling can help you out because it can get you, or being in the hustle culture can help you out because it can get you further ahead. Whether you're just doing a side hustle of door dashing or doing headshots on the side for somebody or whatever, that can help you get along, especially if you're getting money for it. And it can also be giving you experience.
Oh
Say you're a
yeah,
waiter, but you're doing headshots on the side for people that want to get their headshot and all that. You're getting experience doing headshots, maybe editing those photos, and it can get you a career further down the line. Or it's just simple as getting you an extra $100, $200 a month. I mean, a week, a month, whatever.
yeah,
And you can use that for whatever you want, for leisure, for investing, whatever you want. That's something that a side hustle culture is good for because it can just make you or get you motivated.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
you,
when you think that, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get more done because you're working more. I mean, it comes down to, like, math there, because if it takes you, let's say, 80 hours to complete this project to make you this money, if you work 2 weeks at 40 hours a week, it take you 2 weeks. But the other guy works 80 hours in 1 week. Well, yeah, he's gonna do it in half the time. And so, it comes down to, you're working more, you get more done. And so, and I agree with that. I definitely, like, I still believe in it. I think there's some people with it with the wrong reasons, and if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're gonna fall out of it. And so then it's just like, well, why are you in it to begin with?
see the thing I think is with the hustle culture, that can make it toxic. Because they mentioned something like this, and I completely agree with it. It's Let me see if I can find the words real fast where they said this. Blah blah.
When you look for that, and like one of the things that it mentioned on there is it talked about like people that are doing it, like I'm saying, like the wrong reasons. If you're doing it like just for money and for status to other people, and this is what I was thinking about when I remembered that I mentioned it in the article, you're gonna end up losing it what you're doing because you're gonna decide, oh, I'm getting burnt out. I mean, if you're pushing for just money, okay, now you're making you know let's say you're doing it full time, whatever, and you're making 50K with it, and then you don't like it, you're getting 50K, you're gonna get used to just making that money. It's not gonna be exciting anymore, and that's just what it comes down to, finding a passion for something. Now, if you hustle hard and your passion, that is a different kind of work. It's way different work. Just like someone like we mentioned when me and you were just chatting earlier, Brandon, about the person who works for someone because they have to, or the person who works for someone because they want to. And there's two different calibers of work that's done, and the amount of effort that goes into the work. Did you find it?
Yeah, okay, so it's at the very bottom of the summary. This is what it says. It says it also has negatives such as an increased chance of having anxiety and slash or depression, less of a social life, less of a family life, and more burnouts, which I would 100% agree with that. Some of my friends will be messaging me when I was doing Doordash every single day after I got off work. They'll be messaging me, hey, you want to go out to eat? Or hey, you want to do this? I'm like, no, I can't do that today. I'm door dashing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was door dashing almost every single day after work, except for the days I was recording for the podcast and all that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting burned out towards the end. Like I was getting major burnout. Like I was just exhausted, just tired, just didn't want to. I was like, you know what? I just want to go home, do nothing, because I'm burned out. I don't feel like leaving. I just want to go home and just crash.
Yeah,
And
I
that's a negative. Yeah, like you miss out on some opportunities to have some fun, and you get burned out.
that's a big deal. Like that's the number one thing to probably come up with side hustles on the side, like or hustle culture is that like burnout. Like that's the next thing to come up on the list with it, and because I mean, if you're just doing every hour of the day, like, and I've got my opinion on it. We're gonna end up talking about it or whatever, and I've already shared some stuff. But if you're doing every hour of the day for that, and there's anything else you ever wanted to do, and you're not doing it now, you're gonna burn out because you're not doing any of the other stuff. You're not taking care of yourself, taking care of your friends in terms of spending time with them, or your significant other. Like, and either they're going to get burnt out with you a little bit, but it's more about you getting burnt out with it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, unless you love it to death, you're not going to be able to maintain that. I mean, you can take self-discipline with that, though. There's very few people with the level of self-discipline to run that. And, but, I always bring happiness back into the equation that, yeah, you can be disciplined enough to run that every other day forever. But, like, if that's not going to make you real happy, then don't do it that hard. You can do a little less hard and still make decent money in this example and have a life that you enjoy.
yeah. See, for me, like I just didn't. I whenever I was doing walking, side hustling, and all that, I didn't have a good work life balance. It was probably 80% walk, 20% my life. And that's was a negative. Like I probably putting more work and doing more stuff ahead of my life and all that, which is I've kind of corrected and all that. I fixed that. I kind of found a good middle ground.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. You have to, I mean, you honestly, you have to make time for yourself. And it's really, really important.
It is.
And I figured that out a long time ago when I went to school full time, I worked full time, and I was doing real estate stuff. Like I was booked all the time. And I missed out on stuff, missed out doing things on the weekends. Like I got to work because I had days off. They were during the week and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's kind of how things are now ultimately, but still my schedule's slightly more free than it was. And even though I still work quite a bit, but you have to make time for yourself because I mean, A, to avoid the burnout, but B, I mean, it's really, really important to give your mind a break and
Yeah.
reset. It's a really big deal.
And honestly, I personally think that's what can honestly really make why people think, oh, is the hustle culture is toxic is because people don't find that middle ground. It's like, what they're hustling, but they're also giving themselves time. And honestly, that's what I think really is the most toxic part about it, because if we focus too much on it, yeah, you're gonna get some benefits, but at the same time, you're not making time for you.
Yeah.
And as long as you make time for you and to do that hustle and all that, then that's probably when it shines the best.
Oh yeah, yeah, because your work will eventually be affected,
Yeah.
and if you're not giving yourself time, it just like Elon Musk talking about, if you like sleeping, if you're giving up all your sleep, your productivity is gonna diminish.
Yeah.
And like it's in one of these articles, but I was listening to his podcast with Joe Rogan just yesterday, and talking about if he sleeps less than 6 hours, his productivity is affected. So he always gets 6 hours of sleep, and almost all the time. And so he's figured this out along the way. Very smart guy. And so you can only sacrifice so much. Now you do it to your heart's content, but for most people, every hour of the day, at some point, it's gonna get to where you're like, man, I don't like where I'm at. I've done it. I'm not saying don't work hard. There's a difference between working hard and taking every hour of the day. And you can be running really fast, but if you're not going anywhere, then that's the difference. So you can use the time, but be productive. And but that's something you're gonna have to identify yourself, because you can be hustling all day but not doing anything. And because then you're just like, oh, well, I'm hustling hard. Oh, now I'm working on my mindset because I'm watching 6 hours of motivational videos. Like you're not hustling watching 6 hours of videos.
Like, what's the point of doing the motivational stuff if you don't actually go out and do stuff?
Yeah.
And I think one of the articles even mentioned something like that.
Yeah, it was one of the. Are you one of these types of people?
It was the first one. It was the first one. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. If you're one of these types of people, it's at the first where it lists those different ones. And but I agree with both sides of the parties out here. I essentially, if that's what you want to do what you want to do. And if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Like literally try it. If you're not already trying it, do it if you want. Continue to do it if you love it. And if you don't like it, do something else.
Okay,
nobody's stopping you.
Back to that motivational video. This is it. It's the B option. I'm the type of person who thinks they walk 16 hours out. Why can I not say that? 16 hours a day after watching a motivational video, but C to do nothing. And this is what the person said. I'm sure B can be used to describe a lot of more people. However, than the motivation we get from listening to the likes of Gary V and David, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. Goggins, okay, thank you. Yeah. Can someone lead us to believe we're going to start working 24/7 because in that moment we actually want to. For some of us, the motivation was off, but others remain invested in this kind of mentality and are eventually described by E, which E is I hustle 24/7.
Yeah. And Gary V, I love Gary V. And if you listen to just a little bit of stuff, he's literally pretty much talking about hustle hard, hustle all the time kind of thing. But if you listen to a lot of his stuff, he will talk about the importance of not hustling really hard. He said, if he didn't, he says he does not recommend doing what he does, like literally all like working 16-hour days. He's like, it's not for everybody. He's like, only reason I do it is because I can't fucking breathe if I'm not doing it. I love it so much. And so he's a rare breed. And but he's like, I do not recommend doing this. And he's been working, every day of the week and this kind of stuff.
Like, see, sorry, continue.
So if you listen to his stuff, like he actually will talk about the importance of like, if you don't like working that hard, then don't make time for your friends and family. He does the description between, would you rather be the guy who makes $250,000 a year, drives a Ferrari, but you don't know in the background he's crying and there's a gun in his mouth, versus the dude who makes $45,000 a year and is happy as can be and is with his family every weekend and goes to his son's baseball games. Who do you want to be? Like this is real stuff. It's you don't see all the negatives that these other people have, and it's not like everybody is that way that makes $150,000 plus a year, but like you think you're willing to make that sacrifice till you're sitting there.
Yeah. And also, like, see, okay, everybody knows that Doordash and all that. Honestly, I was going Doordash after recording, but now I'm starting to think, I'm looking at that time, like, you know what? I'm probably just gonna go to the store, buy some stuff, and do some house cleaning and house maintenance instead
Mm-hmm.
of doing DoorDash because I have to be at work at 3 something, and I'm like, I just rather take care of some stuff at the house. Because honestly, I always like put that off to the side and just go DoorDash and all that instead.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, then like like a month I'll be like, man, I honestly need to do a bunch of stuff at the house that I've been putting off because I'm like, no, gotta go DoorDash, gotta go DoorDash, gotta go DoorDash, gotta go DoorDash.
Yeah. Part of me at some point, like I've always felt this. I know I would never make it happen on purpose, but the want to just literally be like put back to zero and just like have to literally suffer in that sense to where it was just like I get fired from my job and it's just like what am I gonna do, and then like literally that happened and then try to find stuff and it doesn't work and then money gets tight and then like I have to DoorDash to survive. Like I literally in a bit of fiber of my being want that to happen.
You really don't.
Just to try it. No, I'm never gonna make that happen. Like just to be in it. Oh, it's not gonna be more. It's gonna be less fun than it is now. Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good time, but just part of me like wants to have been there.
I gotcha.
Just like part of me wants to like literally have been homeless for like a month, and I'm not gonna do that on purpose. It's not going to be as fun as what I'm doing now, but like to have experienced it.
Oh, also, by the way, I got to send you this. This is completely off topic. I just remember this. I got to send you this video because, like, okay, it's no secret that me and Blaine are, I don't know, I guess we can say we kind of have entrepreneur spirits to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, off screen, like, you, me and him have come up probably with like 10 to 15 business ideas on the side that we could probably do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one thing that actually my dad mentioned this to me, then he mentioned this to me, is like owning a Chick-fil-A. Matt Pat from what he's best known as is from Game Theory, but then he's done Film Theory. Now his other one, Food Theory, actually did an episode about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this because you and me were talking about owning one. And I was like, and now I know we could not own one because of the way we are.
What? What's that? Why?
I'll send you the video so you can watch all of it, but layman's terms, if you ever own also, by the way, you guys, a Chick-fil-A is one of the cheapest franchises to own. I think you need
$10,000.
Yeah, $10,000 to own one. But basically, when you do that, you are not. It's also very hard to get one. But you are not allowed to do anything else. Not allowed to have another job, nothing like that. While you own one,
another job. I mean, but how do they put that in a thing? Like you can make YouTube videos.
I don't think you've been allowed to do that.
So what do they say? You're not allowed to earn revenue from any other sources?
I think so, but it's basically I was watching his video and basically it sounds like basically you're not allowed to do anything else but Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, no.
I feel like it's hard to put that in a contract because there is those things like companies you're not allowed to be employed anywhere else, But like, how are they gonna know if you're making YouTube videos? You could literally be a faceless channel and create that and not exist to them. They don't look at your taxes.
Well, I also know that Chick-fil-A is also still one of the hardest places to get a franchise from.
Oh, it takes over a year, I think.
Yeah. All right, but that's completely offside. Actually, maybe we should do that. Like some of the franchises you can possibly own. Maybe, who knows?
Man, get a Little Caesars. That's more expensive than a Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A is so cheap. But it's really hard to get it. But
hey, and who knows? Maybe now somebody hold this and they're like, "I'm gonna do it."
$10,000.
Most expensive one is McDonald's, I think.
Yeah, you need to have at least $1 million net worth before you can just try to get it. Like if you don't have at least $1 million worth, you're not giving them $1 million. You need to have $1 million worth.
I think that also includes your liquid assets and all that too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's liquid or just net. I think it's $1 million net worth minimum. But of course, net worth includes liquid assets, real estate assets, stock assets. And so, if you don't have $1 million, you can't apply. But I think you need to give them $100,000 for one. I don't remember. I think it's that. It's been a while since I looked at that one.
Yeah,
I remembered $1 million.
All right, yeah, but anyway, back to the side hustle after that. And I just remember I gotta talk about this to Blaine because I've been meaning to do it.
Well,
But yeah, like
that's hustle type stuff. But I mean, these articles we'll put the links in the
in the
description.
description on YouTube at for the Long Haul podcast. And why am I saying that and enunciating it is because we honestly realize we keep on forgetting that we to mention in the podcast. So we do have a YouTube channel, and again, it's for the Long Haul podcast. I messed
Yeah.
that up at the end.
And so yeah, for the Long Haul podcast on there, we need to work on some metadata or something because I was looking it up and I could not find it, and I was like, I had to go to our Instagram and click it.
Maybe I gotta see how I did find it once, but I gotta type it in correctly, like every single word. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't know. And so, but I mean, there's these articles. They're a good read. They're very short. I definitely
Yeah.
agree with reading them. Yeah, you can get a lot done in a shorter amount of time. But is that you want to sacrifice all that stuff? I'm going to be honest with you. When I was younger, I did. I really wanted to. But now that I'm older, I've realized, and older, I'm 25. I'm still so young. But now that I've realized that, yeah, you want to do all this stuff, but you want to give up on all these experiences. Like, I still agree with working really hard, but
Same.
I don't agree with throwing everything else out the window. Like, oh, taking a weekend off to go do something with your friends, go camping for a week once a year. Like, giving up on that. I do not agree with giving up on experiences. And because you can get hit by a train, and a train is drastic. How about get hit by a car? Because there's a lot more of those. You can get hit by a car tomorrow and be gone. And will you
No,
say it's worth it?
yeah. Honestly, I agree with you. I'm at that mindset too. It's like, I work hard. I want to work hard. But at the same time, I actually want to have a life outside of work. I just don't want to wake up, go to work, uh, come home, go to sleep, rinse and repeat. I want to have a life outside of work. I actually want to be like, hey, I'm gonna get a couple. I'm gonna be known. I'm gonna get guaranteed these days off. And then if I'm at away for vacation and all that, I'm not gonna get blasted by anybody, or I don't feel like I need to. It's like, oh, I don't want to feel like, oh, I need to Doordash. I need to Doordash. I need to Doordash. I want
Yeah.
to have my work life balance.
Yeah, exactly. Work-life balance, that's a big thing. And that's,
It's something that's become more and more popular and talked about in these past 4 to 5 years, probably,
yeah, it's
especially the last 3 years.
the great resignation, which we won't get into, but yeah, exactly. It's a really big deal, and it's something that we don't talk about at all, and it's important for people.
Honestly, I was kind of honestly feeling that way
Mental health.
when I left, when I was like towards the end of my job being a waiter. I was like, I'm basically here every single day. I basically get caught in a lot, or I keep on taking people's shifts. I don't have a life outside of you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I th- I
And
hate
that
it.
gets to you at the end. That gets to you at the end. It's just like not having a life outside of your work.
Oh, it does. It does. And that's ultimately the thing. Yeah. I just try to put it into words really, because I mean I've been there, and it feels good that you're so productive, but it sucks because you can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And because you're like doing so much, yeah, it feels great, but then you want to do something else, and you literally have not a spot to put it in there because you're locked on some stuff, and that's what sucks because you want to have some form of freedom, and so that's where I stand on that. You gotta make time for yourself.
And honestly, I feel like you and me are basically on the same page. We're like, yes, the hustle culture can be good, but it can also be toxic if you don't manage it properly.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very detrimental to your mental health, as these articles mention. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in it. I was doing it at one point, and I was just like, God, I want to do something, anything, and I have no free time. I had a calendar with all my stuff in it, and when I opened my eyes, my day was booked till I went to sleep for
Yeah.
just days on end. And then when I was off from work on a day, I still had to go to school that day. And so I never got a day just to be like, nothing happens today except me and what I desire. And that was for a while. That wasn't like 2 weeks. That was for like 2 years. And it's, you just want to get out so bad.
Yeah, the only thing I think is like the side hustles I do, even though I don't make money from them, is the podcast. I don't feel like, any pressure about those because, I enjoy doing both of these. Well, I hope I make money from these one day. Hell yes, I do. I hope I make money from these one day. I hope I can
Hmm.
make like a little network or something like that.
Yeah.
This like as long as you enjoy it, it's not that bad.
And
But
that's
if
the
it's
difference.
yeah,
When you do it because you like it, that's the difference. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. the other night when I had to work at like 10. So that's not
oh,
that bad. But I was making a video and I've spent, several hours on it. I was like, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And
you
that's
should
the
have messaged
difference.
me.
Huh?
You should have messaged me asking me for some help or something.
Oh, no, no, I didn't have to have it done. I was just doing it because I wanted to.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I was up because I wanted to do it. And so that's the difference. You can work harder for something you really enjoy, and if you work extra for it, it's not that toxic uh, hustle culture because it's what you want to do. This hustle culture, that's why it's toxic. I'm kind of 50-50. I mean, it's good, it's not good. I think it's maybe
It's
slightly
how
more toxic than it is good for the general person our age because they don't
yeah.
understand how to interpret it the right way. I lean towards the slightly toxic side, is because they're teaching you to hustle as hard as you can to make all this money as short as possible and keep doing it. And if you really want to make something lasting and something that you really like, it's not the same way. It's not the same work ethic. You're finding something you really like. You're not just like hustle culture. I'm gonna Doordash 24 hours a day for a year
Yeah.
and make 70,000. That's really cool. Yeah, but is it really worth you giving up a year of your life to make $70,000? How much
Yeah.
those experience that you missed out on? How much are those worth? Can you put a price on that?
Yeah, exactly.
What if like literally this is that meeting like in our I guess our previous episode that would be last week for networking?
Yeah.
Like what if we'll reference that? What if this is that one interaction that you would have had this year that you met someone, let's say the love of your life. You met them in now an alternate reality because you worked every day for DoorDash for a year, so you didn't make any new people or nothing. What if you like took your natural way of doing things and took your time to have friends and stuff like that, and you met the love of your life? This is literally the things we will never comprehend because we'll never know when we make that kind of decision. It's done. You're never going to know, but that's just a thought. Like you will miss things and you're never going to know, but it will happen.
Exactly. Now, you guys put it down in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys think it's toxic? Do you guys think it's not toxic? Have we shed a new light on it for you? Do you guys maybe think it's a little less toxic, a little more toxic than what you thought before? And also let us know what you think about the Chick-fil-A thing, because that was random, but it's still part of the episode.
Yeah.
And or let us know if you own a Chick-fil-A. I actually kind of want to know that.
That would be really cool. If you own a Chick-fil-A, I would
Oh,
love to
please
talk
hit
to
us up. We
you.
would love to talk to you.
Just because
Anyway,
that's so cool.
yeah. Anyway, guys.
Wait, wait,
Uh,
wait, wait, wait. Come back. If you own a franchise, we would love to talk with you because I'm just
oh,
really interested in having a franchise, among other things. And but I would, and plus we make an episode out of it, obviously.
obviously. Alrighty, guys.
All right.
If about words, I can't talk anymore. If you guys want to find us on Instagram, you guys can do that at.
FTLH. Whoa, wait a minute. Slow down.
I said
Who's that?
Instagram. I said Instagram.
At Instagram. Yeah, I know I messed up. At For the Long Haul Podcast on Instagram. And then now, if you want to send us email for sponsorship information, all the good stuff, FTLHpodcast@gmail.com.
And also, speaking of sponsorships and all that, have you seen some of the new stuff? Have you seen that new Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile commercial with his football team he owns? Oh, yeah. Well, as you would know, a soccer team, but for everybody else, a football team.
I kind of forgot, but I did watch it. I thought it was hilarious.
It is. I also keep on forgetting he owns a soccer team or football team, as everybody else would call it.
That must be his stadium over there or something, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
sure he went
That's
to
the
that
team's.
effort.
That's the team's home stadium.
What the? He has got a video called Mint Mobile Customer Awards.
Oh my god, the way he does advertisement for Mint Mobile is perfect for any of his stuff he owns, because he owns Aviation Jet and Mint Mobile. It is perfection.
And does he have a deal with the cybersecurity company? Because he's on that's cybersecurity and skincare. Like Some
Probably,
kind of ad, right?
probably some kind of deal. Anyway,
So
guys,
funny.
until the next episode, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, take care.